Hello guys, this is the 2023 Hyundai Kona N. This is the fastest Kona you could buy, and this Kona is finished in racing red. It looks very nice and sharp in this red color, and I personally think that Hyundai did a great job with the design of this Kona N. So there is the Hyundai Elantra N, which I own, and I love this thing. But today, let's go ahead and drive the 2023 Kona N, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, here's the interior of this 2023 Hyundai Kona. It looks very nice from the inside, but I prefer the Hyundai Elantra N interior better than this Kona. I think because the Elantra N has those dual 10.25-inch screens next to each other, I think it just looks a little bit better. This gauge screen looks a little bit cheap in my opinion, but I do really love the tablet style 10.25-inch screen in this Kona. Interior looks good. It is nice and spacious. Good amount of visibility right here. Back window is a little bit on the smaller side. Mirrors are nice and big. Good amount of plastic, but I think that's fine. The price on this one is $36,000, which I think is a good price, but I really wish that this Kona N was all-wheel drive. It would have been really nice. But let's go ahead and take this Kona on a test drive and tell you what I think about it. Backup camera resolution is actually very good. There's two different modes or views or angles, down view and a normal view. So something about this Kona and that I don't like is the exhaust setup. I think the exhaust setup was much better in the Veloster and the Elantra N, but on this Kona I feel like Hyundai did something. So there's not a lot of pops and crackles from this exhaust. My Elantra N has almost like gunshots, pops and crackles most of the time when I put it in N mode, but with this one I just don't get that. So I feel like Hyundai did something with the exhaust right here, but still sounds good, and I think it's pretty good. As I said guys, the interior is very nice. It is nice and spacious, good amount of plastic, which I think is fine. It does have one zone climate control. It does have 3 stages of automatic function, which is nice, but I really wish that it had dual climate control for the price. This thing is very light. It's around 3,300 pounds, and honestly, this thing just wants to go. We're gonna go ahead and hop on the highway, and I'll tell you what I think about this Kona. So usually when I downshift in my Elantra N, there is a ton of pops and crackles, but with this Kona, there is none. Alright, so let's go ahead and do an acceleration right here. Brakes are very good in this Kona. I really want to push this Kona, but it does have summer tires on it. But this thing feels like it's on rails. And this thing goes very responsive. This 8-speed automatic transmission is very, very good. It's extremely light and it's very confident around turns and corners, and it's so good. I think Hyundai did a great job with this Kona, this 8-speed. Very responsive 8-speed automatic transmission. This DCT transmission is so good. From what I heard, this 8-speed DCT transmission, automatic transmission, is more fun than the manual transmission. I drove the Veloster N 6-speed manual transmission in the Veloster N, and I was impressed with it, but I feel like the DCT is more fun. The more I'm driving this Kona, the more I'm hearing the pops and crackles. So I don't know if it needs to be broken in or something needs to be done, but such a beautiful sounding exhaust. This 2.0 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine is very, very good, and I think Hyundai did a great job with the transmission, the exhaust, just everything about this Kona. Definitely the suspension is very stiff, but this thing is very controlling and it feels like it's on rails. There's a good amount of torque steer. So when you accelerate, you feel like the SUV is like going all over the place. But this thing is really fun to drive. But I think the Elantra N is more fun to drive. There's more pops and crackles. And sitting a little bit higher, it doesn't make you feel as confident, even though the suspension is nice and stiff. There's barely any body lean in this Kona. This thing is seriously amazing. Let's go ahead back to Apple CarPlay. Brakes are phenomenal. I really think that Hyundai did a great job with everything in this Kona. There is a good amount of plastics, but it's all about the driving experience, the engine, the transmission, the suspension, the exhaust. Everything just feels and sounds good. Paddle shifters are amazing. They feel nice and solid. The N lineup makes me feel like that Hyundai is going a very similar route as BMW, like the BMW M340, and they're not full N, not full M, but the M's in the middle. So they do have the same kind of sound, feel, driving. But Hyundai seriously is doing a great job with those N's. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I do feel like the suspension is a little bit stiffer in N mode than my Elantra N. And by the way, there is a good amount of wheel hop, which I'm not a big fan of. I'll see if I could make it do that. This is very stiff. So let's go ahead and go back to eco mode or normal mode. There's 4 drive modes you could choose from. There's eco, normal, sport, and snow. In sport mode, the exhaust valves open up, suspension stays normal, everything stays normal except the exhaust valves opens up. I mean, few things change in sport mode, but it's not, if you need full power, then you have to go with the N mode, and it's honestly very hard to talk while this thing is N mode. Such a beautiful SUV. Nice, responsive, light, quick, but I really wish it was all-wheel drive. In eco mode, it is nice and comfortable. In N mode, it becomes extremely stiff, extremely uncomfortable, but it's very controlling, very confident around turns, and this thing doesn't have any body lean. As I said, guys, there's two 10.25-inch screens. Apple CarPlay is not wireless. I really wish it was. This Kona has all the nice safety features: rear cross traffic, blind spot monitoring system, emergency braking, lane keeping assist, steering assist, but the only thing that it's missing is adaptive cruise control. It has normal cruise control but does not have adaptive cruise control, and I really wish it did for the price point, $36,000. I think Hyundai should have added it. Seats are very comfortable. They're not like my Elantra N. They're not bucket seats. My Elantra N have very aggressive bucket seats, and the end lights up in the Elantra, but in the Kona it does not. But seriously, a very beautiful SUV. Comfortable, confident, powerful, nice and light. Seeing out of the back is okay. Front windshield is nice and big. The windows are nice and big. The mirrors are nice and big. And this thing just looks amazing from the outside. I really think that Hyundai killed it with the design. And I just love the fact there is so many customizations to this Kona. So you could go to the N menu and you could do so many things. You could change the engine, steering wheel, sport, suspension, transmission, everything. You could change it to sport or normal or sport plus, exhaust, stability control, limited slip differential. So a lot of customization. And that's what I really like about the N lineup. Something that I don't like about this Kona is the fact that the seating position is very high. I really wish that I could lower the seat a tiny bit down to make me feel like I am more confident when taking corners. But other than that, everything is perfect about this Kona. Seriously, very, very good. And something that I wish that Hyundai adds in the future is the all-wheel drive, because with it being front-wheel drive, there's a lot of wheel hop, a lot of wheel spin, a lot of wheel torque, and if they do that, they could eliminate all these things. Steering wheel is very aggressive. Lane keeping assist is very aggressive in this Kona. I really wish there was more pops and crackle from the exhaust. And I noticed something with my Elantra N. If I put this transmission in manual mode, I hear more pops and crackles. But yeah, definitely not a lot of pops and crackles. I love the interior of this Kona. As I said, guys, I'm not a big fan of this screen. Kind of looks cheap, like an afterthought, so I don't like that. So I completely forgot to talk about the engine because this thing is just so fun to drive. Anyways, guys, it has a 2.0 turbocharged inline 4. It is connected to this beautiful 8-speed DCT transmission, and this 8-speed DCT transmission is very, very quick. Anyways, this engine produces 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. If you guys click the red button on the steering wheel, this will add an extra 10 horsepower to this Kona. And this extra 10 horsepower only lasts 20 seconds. Let's go ahead and test the steering wheel, or the turning radius. Steering wheel is extremely light, and turning radius is actually very good. And that's expected from a short base SUV. Even in N mode, I've noticed that the steering wheel is light. In my Elantra N, the steering wheel becomes very stiff or very hard, or very heavy I should say, when it's in N mode. But yeah, the steering wheel is very, very light. So when you put it in sport mode, you're not going to hear the fake noises that come from the speaker, because it does have an artificial noises. You could choose, I believe, 4 different sounds, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I could actually get to that menu. I believe it's in the sound setup. Then I have to go to sound. Then I have to go to... can't remember where exactly it was. I believe it was in the end menu, and you could adjust, you could basically change the sound. I think performance option, yeah, so it's right there in performance option. And basically you could have control, launch control. I'm not exactly sure where it went. It's slightly different than my Elantra. Mine, when you go to the N mode, it's there. But anyways, you could change basically the sound that is coming from the speakers, from a race car to an RC car, and 2 other things. Can't remember the exact names, but I'm glad that Hyundai gives us the option. But when you put the Kona in sport mode by itself, not the N mode, sport mode, it will basically just give you that pure sound from the exhaust. If you put it in N mode, it will give you that artificial sound. But I think still it sounds good. Seriously, I am truly impressed with this Kona. Every single thing about it is perfect. Suspension, exhaust, engine. But the Elantra N, I think, is a little bit more fun to drive. It sounds better. I think it handles better because it's a 4-door sedan. But this Kona is definitely good. Handles amazing. Love the way how it looks, love the way how it sounds. Seats are more comfortable in this Kona. They don't hug you as much as the Elantra N seats. I think the Elantra seats are much better bucket seats. They're less comfortable, but they do have a better design, and they do have the N badge that lights up like the Veloster and like the Veloster, but the Kona doesn't. Again, guys, seating position in this Kona is a little bit high. I'm not a big fan of that. This cluster LCD screen doesn't look that good. I feel like it makes it look cheap. Rims look amazing. Style from the outside looks amazing. Everything is just so perfect about this Kona, but I really wish that Hyundai gives us all-wheel drive in this Kona. Other than that, I really enjoyed driving this Kona, and I think Hyundai is doing a great job with the N lineup. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2023 Hyundai Kona N. I would like to thank Key Hyundai and Sam for providing me this Kona N. If you guys are around and if you guys are interested, make sure to come and check them out. I'm going to go ahead and put the information and link in the bottom of this video. And if you guys would like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe, because it does help a lot. And as always, I'll see you next time.